Hola, SHPE leaders in Nila. My name is Andrea Martinez, and today I want to speak to you about some of the things that I learned as an RLDC student chair this previous RLDC season. And I also want to share some things that can work out in your RLDC and give you some tips about how to be successful and execute an amazing conference. I think that establishing your committee should be your very first step into the planning of the conference. You need to be able to trust your teammates and make sure that they are as passionate as you are and that they're putting the same amount of effort into the planning of the conference. I think that's the very first step that you should take, because that is what's going to determine whether you guys are going to work well together or not in the future. So definitely consider getting a good group of people that you trust and that you work well with. Also, another thing is have a plan B for most of the big things that are happening in the conference. So for instance, transportation, locations, a schedule, because sometimes things don't go as planned and you need to plan something at the very last minute. So it's very important to have a plan B. Another thing is have a spreadsheet. I think that spreadsheets in Excel work very well because you can put a lot of information into different tabs, and you can separate transportation with schedules and speakers, sponsors, so you can have everything that you need to have in one single spreadsheet that everyone can access. I think that can work out pretty well. Another thing is contact your sponsors early on. I think the earliest you can, the better, because if you contact them in the fall, let's say, that's when most of the companies, that's when they're doing the planning of the budget and they're allocating funds. So if you can contact them as early as possible, that would be great, because if you contact them, 1 month or two before you start your conference, that's going to be a little late for them, and we'll find some difficulty sponsoring your conference. And also work with your school. The Career Center or the Career Services Office is really good at putting you in contact with local companies or companies that are usually involved with the university. So I think that you should do that, because you can get a lot of contact information from your Career Center or Career Services Office. And lastly, work a lot with your regional vice president. I worked a lot with Edwin, the regional vice president for Region 7, and I think that was one of the most successful things of the conference. Being able to work with him was one of our privileges, because he was always there for us and he helped us with everything. He has more experience in the field. He's a professional. He knows more people than we do as students. So I think that worked out pretty nicely. And they're there to help you. So take advantage of that. Take advantage that they're the RBPs and that they're there to help you execute the best regional conference that the region has ever seen. So my favorite part about the conference was definitely planning the conference, because it was very fun, imagining myself as the student, imagining myself as the person that is attending the conference, and thinking of what I would like to see in the conference was very, very fun. So I got very creative, and it was really fun to work with my team. I had an amazing group of people helping me execute this job, so I had a lot of fun planning it. But during the conference, I had a lot of fun at the gala, or at the last event where we gave out the awards and had the keynote speaker. It was very fun, because just standing there in that podium and seeing all those faces full of satisfaction. They got what they wanted. They came for an RLDC to learn a lot about leadership, development, professionalism, and they got all that. So I was very happy to see all those happy faces, see a room full of people. There wasn't an empty chair because everything was full. So I was very, very glad that the people got what they wanted, and that I was able to say that I helped them achieve what they wanted. So I really like making people happy. So that was definitely one of the most memorable things of the RLDC. Being able to plan an event in Excel, I was able to learn a lot from Excel and put a lot of information together into multiple spreadsheets. So I am currently implementing that at work, and I used that in college when just before I graduated. I used Excel a lot, so I was glad that I used Excel and that I had that experience, and which has helped me a lot in college and as well as in the work life. Another thing is get out of your comfort zone. I think that's very important because you will have to go ask for, sponsorship, go ask for career fair booths, go ask for many things. So it's very important to get out of your comfort zone, because you're gonna have to go to the dean of students at your school, or you're gonna have to go to the dean of the College of Engineering, College of Science, and you will have to talk to a lot of people to ask them for a lot of favors. So you will have to get out of your comfort zone and be able to convince people why you're doing the event and why it is good for the community and the region and the student life too. So you will have to talk to a lot of people that are very high up in the ladder. So it's very important to just be comfortable being uncomfortable. Another thing is that I learned to think of a project not as a big thing, but rather as a small steps. So I didn't think about this conference as a big thing, and I didn't let that intimidate me. So I thought of a conference as small steps that I had to achieve in order to get to the conference. So I don't think anymore of a project that's so complex, so complicated, but I think of small little projects that will get me there, that will help me get to the top, which is planning the RLDC conference. So with that, I conclude my tips, and remember to work a lot with your BP. That helped us a lot, and I want to thank Edwin for his help during our RLDC in Region 7 this past February. Bye, and I wish you the best in the planning of your RLDC.
Good afternoon, and welcome to NILA 2019. I hope you're having a great time. My name is Edwin Moura Negron, Regional Vice President of Region 7, por la Región 7, nadie se mete. I will be answering some questions that has brought to me today. There was some great opportunity that we can share experiences from the students and me as a professional, and also when I was a student, getting involved in an event is very challenging. A lot of logistic complications, a lot of efforts. You gotta get people motivated, inspired, and willing to help as a volunteer for an event that it will impact the life of many. And I think it's very important you as a leader get involved. That's gonna help a lot to remove roadblocks as a leader and listen to some of the struggles. At the same time, give some advice, get some hands-on to work and help, like a volunteer too. So it's very important and critical that you as a regional leader get involved. The highlights of the RLDC as a regional leader, honestly, is see everybody working together, students and professionals joining in workshops and sharing their experience, the point of view, the different questions. That was one of the highlights that impact me the most, because I see how strong we get when we do things together. For me, RLDC is very important because it's a great opportunity to be developed. At the same time, when you get development, you do a network and you meet new people, new ways of seeing things, different point of view. You enter in this different discussion that help you understand a different way to do things. At the same time, you learn a lot about communication, leadership skills, and you get motivated to become the next president of a SHPE chapter or the treasurer, or you want to host another RLDC. You really get inspired by many things that for example, in Region 7 RLDC in 2018, the team got together, the chapter, the RLDC chairs. I really was inspired by them, and I really want to thank Andrea Orlando, to taking that responsibility as chair, and Jessica and many others that as leaders help a lot and work so hard to bring you the best. So I hope you can do the same thing in your next RLDC and get pumped up in this training and enjoy the journey. You're gonna have a lot of fun being mindful that other people think differently, learn differently. So a little bit of patience, a little bit of a collaboration will be very, very, very helpful. And have some communication. Take some one-on-ones over the phone, a test, an email. Build that relationship. That way you become stronger and can help each other work as a team. So thank you for taking this opportunity, taking this as your next project, because this definitely is a project and you're going to be so satisfied once you finish, and you're going to learn a lot of amazing skills. So thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.